Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning coming to you live from Scott Manning YouTube Talk. I want to thank all of my loyal viewers for being with me here on this very, very early morning here in the eastern part of the United States. Its conference tournament mania is over for the day. The Pac-12 is still having late games. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But we got the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big East have determined their final. I'll get to that here in the show. But the Big 12 and the Big 10 and the SEC, I have not forgotten about them at all. I got a lot to talk about here in about the next half hour. So I'm just going to jump right into the show. Let's have a great show, and let's run with it. The ACC final is now set between Florida State and Duke. I'll talk about that tomorrow morning during my morning show on Saturday, on the morning special I'm doing on Saturday. But anyway, Florida State, what can you say? They knocked off Virginia 69-59. What a moment for the Florida State Seminoles, knocking off the #1 seed in the Big East Conference. The Spectrum Arena in Charlotte is not a good place, has not been too good for the Virginia Cavaliers. Last year, the Golden Retrievers of University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the 16 seed, knocked them off when Virginia was expected to run away with the whole thing. But that was last year. This is this year. And Florida State took it to Virginia right out of the gate. David Nichols, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Phil Coffer, 11 points, 2 rebounds. Trent Forrest, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kennebagle, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 block shots. Florida State has a chance to win the ACC for the first time since 2012. And what a moment it's going to be. Florida State has been mediocre in basketball for so long, they used to be known as the football school of the ACC. But times have changed, people. And the bottom line is, Florida State has a chance to do something very special. Win their second ACC crown. And what a moment that would be. But for Virginia, Florida State took care. They did exactly what I said they needed to do. Limit DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Guy, and Ty Jerome, and that's exactly what they did tonight. DeAndre Hunter, 13 points, 2 block shots. Kyle Guy, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Ty Jerome, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. This is what gave Florida State the game tonight. Virginia going 5 of 24 from beyond the arc. That's only 20.8%. That's what cost them in the end. Virginia coach Tony Bennett said, I'm not sure if we're still going to be on the 1 line after this loss. This loss hurts us. But in my opinion, I think we could still be on the 1 line. I really do believe that. But Florida State coach Leonard Hamilton said, we're going to the ACC final. We'll wait and see what happens with North Carolina Duke later tonight. I'm very proud of my guys, and we worked our butts off to get to where we're at right now. Well, Leonard Hamilton, you're going to get a rematch against Duke, my friend. You're going to get a chance to avenge the loss that you guys suffered in Tallahassee at the hands of the Duke Blue Devils. And Duke got their revenge tonight over North Carolina, 74-73. Zion Williamson was back in a big way. 31 points, 11 rebounds. R.J. Barrett, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. And he also had 2 block shots along the way. Trey Jones, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Now, Duke had 12 turnovers in the game, but they still got the job done. In North Carolina, they only committed 8 turnovers, but what hurt them in the end? How about 4 for 27 shooting from beyond the arc? That's only 14.8%. They only shot 29-73 from the field for only 39. They only shot 39.7% from the field for the game. For Duke, despite the fact they only went 7-13 at the free throw line for 53.8%, they still won. They shot for almost 48% from the floor, and they still won. Duke Coach K said after the game, this should get us on the 1 line. We already beat Florida State once, so it would be our pleasure to do it again. And I'll tell you right now, our guys are ready. North Carolina coach Roy Williams said after the game, this is a disappointing moment. We had a chance to win it, but we blew it at the end. Hats off to Duke. They beat us again. What can I say? Well, the Duke-Florida State rematch is going to be a big one tomorrow. That's going to be an 8:30 tip-off for that game tomorrow, and that's going to be interesting to see how that game is going to go. And if somebody would have told me there would be Duke and Florida State in the ACC final this year, I would have said, I got Swampland in Florida to sell you. Nobody, I had Virginia winning the whole thing. But Florida State got the job done. We're going to have a Duke-Florida State rematch, and I'm going to talk about that later on this morning, since it is officially 1:20 in the morning in the eastern part of the country. All right, let's move on to the Big East. 2 back-to-back wild games in the Big East Conference in the Big East semifinal. First, I want to talk about Villanova and Xavier. Villanova gets the job done over Xavier 71-67 in overtime. What hurt Villanova? What hurt Xavier? Here's something that killed him. 5 of 24 from beyond the arc for 20.8% again. Now, Villanova wasn't exactly stellar either from beyond the arc. 9 of 29 for 31%. But they did go 12 of 17 at the free throw line for 70.6%. Xavier shooting from the field, 27 of 62 for 43.5%. But anyway, Phil Booth, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Eric Paschal, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Jermaine Samuels, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Saddiq Bey, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. What a game this was. Right from the start, Xavier had a chance to put it away, but they blew it in the end. I mean, in overtime, Villanova went on a barrage, and Xavier couldn't stop them. But Paul Scruggs did have 28 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. I hate numbers like that in losing effort. But Zach Hankins, 18.6 rebounds, 3 blocks. A great night, but not great enough. Villanova has a chance to win their 3rd straight Big East crown. But who will Villanova be facing? I know. It's going to be Seton Hall. Seton Hall beat Marquette tonight 81-79. Now, there were some fireworks in that game. I'm going to get to those in a second. But I'm going to tell you right now, this game, I didn't get to see much of that game because I was so worried about Duke, North Carolina. I was watching that game. I should have been switching the dial, but I just gave up on it because my remote was dying. But anyway, I'll address that here in a second. I'm going to address what happened in the second half of that Marquette-Seton Hall game here in just a minute. But first, Seton Hall got the job done 81-79. Miles Powell, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. Quincy McKnight, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Michael Nezzi, 14 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist in that game. Sandro Bushvili, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, 10 points, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 1 steal. For Marquette, Sam Hauser, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Marcus Howard, he had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Joey Hauser, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And Sakar Enum, 10 points in the game. That was pretty much it for him. But like I said, there was some fireworks in the game. Now, here's what happened. 12:18 left in the second half. Miles Powell was fouled going to the rim. He was going for the basket, and he got fouled. Theo John got ejected for pushing a defenseless player. Because what happened was Miles Powell was going up for a basket. Theo John shoved him, and Powell landed on his butt and went for a bounce. Thank heavens he was okay. But Marquette, Sankar, and Annam took exception to it, and Seton Hall, Sandro Manabavishkili, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, they were both ejected from the game because they were yapping. Both got 2 technical fouls, and they were ejected from the game. But after the game, the chirping went on in the handshake line. Marquette coach Steve Wojciechowski was trying to shake the hand of Seton Hall player Miles Powell. Miles Powell claimed that Steve Wojciechowski ignored him. And there was some fireworks, and there was more pushing and shoving. It was ridiculous. I mean, in that game, the whole ball game, the officiating was less than stellar. I'll just put it that way. And when in the press conference after the game, Marquette coach Steve Wojciechowski said, "I'm not going to judge the officiating. I'm not going to do that. Right now, I got a bunch of players in my locker room that are sobbing and crying because they played their hearts out for 40 minutes, and it ends like this. I'm disappointed about it. I got a lot of respect for Seton Hall." And even after the game, and even during the game, even after the fight, Seton Hall coach Kevin Willard and Marquette coach Steve Wojciechowski shook hands. and said, oh, let bygones be bygones and let's play. Seton Hall coach Kevin Willard said after the game, I think the officials did a great job. They did the best they could. But even I was watching the post-game show on Fox, and some of the Fox guys were saying the players and the officials need to get away from this situation. They need to get away. They got to get away from the situation because it's history now, and there's not much more you can do about it. But here's the question. What is the Big East Conference and the NCAA going to do about it? I'm sure there's going to be some reprimands, and I'm sure the universities and somebody's going to get fined for what happened here tonight. Right now, Villanova is at home, well-fed, well-rested, and ready to go. Seton Hall is probably just now getting back to the hotel in New York City because the second Big East final didn't end until about 20 after midnight. This is the reason why I'm coming on the air so late, is because I wanted to get both press conferences in, but I wanted to get all my notes finalized before I went on the air tonight. There will be more about this incident tomorrow morning, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people talking about it. And I'm going to take another real good look at the video of what I saw after the game, what I saw in the second half of that ball game. I'm going to take a further look, then I'm going to comment about it further later on in the morning on my morning show, on my morning special that I'm going to be doing. All right, let's move on. We got to move on. Let's move on to the Big 12. This is a conference of upsets. This has been the Shocker of the Day award. Iowa State knocking off number 1 seed Kansas State in the Big 12 tournament. Iowa State pulled off the upset 63-59. Mario Shyok, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Nick Weiler-Babb, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block. Michael Jacobson, he may have only had 8 points in the game, but he had 16 rebounds and 2 assists. How big was that? But for Kansas State, they couldn't do much of anything. Cartier Diarra, 15.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. We had to have somebody come off the bench to be the high scorer of the day for Kansas State. Barry Brown Jr., 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Xavier Sneed, 11.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Kamir Stokes, 10 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 4 steals. Michael Maven, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks. Kansas State was without Dean Wade, who was still wearing a boot on his left foot after an injury. And Dean Wade's absence showed. Kansas State only went 22 of 63 from the field. That's only 34.9%. Iowa State won this ball game tonight despite committing 17 turnovers. They turned the ball over 17 times and still got the job done. Iowa State coach Steve Prohm said after the game, I was so proud of my players at the way we played tonight. It was unbelievable. Now we got to do it against Kansas. We've beaten them once. We'll try to do it again. And another thing that stuck out for me for Iowa State was 15 of 18 at the free throw line for 83.3%. Now, Talon Horton-Tucker did not have a good shooting night for Iowa State. 6 points on 3 of 10 shooting. That was it for him. Now, what about the other half of the Big 12 final? Kansas had no problem taking care of West Virginia tonight, 88-74. And despite everything that's happened with Kansas, no Doc Azubuike, no Lala LaGerald Vick, and no Silvio De Sousa, Kansas still got the job done. Dedrick Lawson, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Quentin Grimes, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Devon Dotson, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Marcus Garrett, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, Kansas had 16 turnovers, but they still won. They won 8 of 20 from beyond the arc for 40% tonight. That's what it took. But for West Virginia, Lamont West, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Derek Culver, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. I hate those kind of numbers in a losing effort. Brandon Knepper, 10 points, 4 assists. That was it for him. Here's a couple of things that really, really stuck out for West Virginia in my mind tonight. 6 of 22 from beyond the arc from three-point land. That's only 27.3%. And at the free throw line, Kansas only shot 8 of 7. West Virginia only shot 8 of 17 from the free throw line for 47.1%. Yikes. Kansas coach Bill Self said after this game, bring on Iowa State. We've played them once before. We know what they're capable of doing. We beat them once. They beat us once. We've beaten them once. This is the rubber match. Let's bring it on. And West Virginia coach Bob Huggins said after the loss, I wish we would have gone all the way. It would have been nice to really get to the Big 12 final and really spoil the party. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just disappointed. I'm probably just going to go home. My season's over. I'm probably just going to go find someplace to hide out and go hibernate. And hopefully we'll be back stronger next year. Now, that's pretty much what Bob Huggins had to say after the game. But I'm going to be honest with you. Kansas, Iowa State. Nobody saw this matchup coming. Not even all of the basketball gurus and all these odds people and all the big college basketball hotshots did not see this matchup coming. Neither did I. If somebody would have told me to be Iowa State and Kansas for the Big 12 title, in the Big 12 for the Big 12 Conference Championship, I wouldn't have believed it. Texas Tech eliminated by West Virginia. Iowa State eliminates Kansas State. How crazy was that? But it is what it is, and the bottom line is Kansas will face Iowa State for the Big 12 championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the Big 10. Now, we had some action earlier today in the Big 10. Michigan State took care of Ohio State 79-70. And in the other game, Wisconsin survives Nebraska 66-62. I've already handed out my Hardwood Awards for those games. You'll have to watch the earlier show on my YouTube channel. All right, let's move on. Minnesota beats Purdue in the rubber match 75-73. Jordan Murphy, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Amir Coffey, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Gabe Klauser, 11 points. Daniel Arturo, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. A double-double for him tonight. Here's a couple of things that stuck out. Minnesota has won 4 of their last 5 games after losing 6 straight at one point. They went 27-54 from the field for 50%. They shot 50% from the floor tonight. As for Purdue, Matt Harms, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Ryan Klein, 14 points, 8 assists. Carson Edwards, their leading scorer, he got shut down to 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Nojel Eastern, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Minnesota did exactly what I said they needed to do tonight. They needed to hold Carson Edwards to hardly anything. And that's exactly what they did. They stopped Carson Edwards and they had to hold Ryan Klein do a lot less 3-ball shots because he'd been shooting 41% from beyond the arc. Purdue went 6-24 from 3-point land for 25%. 4 of those threes were by Ryan Klein. And Carson Edwards was only 4 of 17 from shooting tonight. And on top of that, Purdue had 17 turnovers. That killed him right there, too. Minnesota head coach Richard Pitino said, Minnesota, we're going to the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I'm very happy with our team. We're not done yet, and I think we're still going to make some noise, and I think we could still possibly win the whole thing. But as far as Purdue coach Matt Painter said after the game, this is depressing. It was depressing. We had a chance to win it, but we blew it in the end. And there's not much more you can say tonight. I'm going to tell you this now. Our team, we still have a lot of work to do because we're going to the big dance, no matter what happens here tonight. Excuse me. It's been a long day for me. Yeah, all right. Let's move on to the other game in the Big Ten tournament. Iowa and Michigan. Michigan had no problem taking care of Iowa tonight, 74-53. Ingus Brazdeikis, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. John Teskey, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Jordan Poole, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Xavier Simpson, a nice night for him, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals. Isaiah Livers, 13 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. Very impressive tonight. As for Iowa, it was a nightmare. Tyler Cook, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Luka Garza, 14 points, 4 rebounds. That was it. There were a couple things that stuck out, and there was some stuff that stuck out in this game. Michigan went on a 3-point barrage. They only went 10 of 30 for 33.3%. And also, too, For Michigan, they went 8 of 12 at the free throw line for 66.7%. Now, as far as Iowa goes, Iowa in the last round against Illinois, they went on a three-point barrage from beyond the arc tonight. Iowa was stone cold. Not as in stone cold Steve Austin. And I wish I had me a couple of Steve Weisers right about now. I'm sure all you Iowa fans would love to have a few Steve Weisers right about now to cheer yourselves up. Because tonight, the Hawkeyes were only 1 of 16 from beyond the arc. That was it. And they only shot 21 of 59 from the field for the game. That's 35.6%. Yikes. Iowa coach Fran McCaffrey said after the game, "We're in the tournament no matter what, but I'm still fuming over our performance tonight." And I'm not saying anything further. Michigan coach John Beilein said after the game, "Hey, we're going on to the Big Ten semifinal. Hopefully we can make a lot of noise there. But it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the tournament plays out." But it was a great night for us tonight here in the Big Ten, and we're moving on up. And now, let's close the show. Now, let's talk about the SEC last but not least. Now, I've already handed out the Hardwood Awards for the early games. I've handed those out already. You'll have to go to my YouTube channel for my pregame break show from earlier in the evening. All right, let's move on. Kentucky, Alabama. The Kentucky Wildcats had no problem tonight with the Alabama Crimson Tide, the football school, 73-55. Tyler Hero, 20.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. P.J. Washington, 10 points, 12 rebounds, a double-double for him tonight. 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 block shots. As for Alabama, Dante Hall, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Alex Bess, 15.6 rebounds in the game. That was it for him. Now, there are some things that stuck out in this game. For Kentucky, 7 of 15 from beyond the arc. That's 46.7%. And from the field, they shot a pretty good 28 of 59 from the field for 47.5%. That was very big. But as far as Alabama goes, they were pretty nice at the free throw line, going 15 of 19 for 78.9% at the free throw line. But from the field, 17 of 56 for 30.4%. Ouch. Kentucky coach John Calipari said, "Let's wait and see who wins the Mississippi State-Tennessee game. Because that's who we're going to be preparing for. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to do what we got to do." Well, we know for sure it's going to be Tennessee, because Tennessee had no problem with Mississippi State. I forgot to write that score down. I do apologize. But anyway, Emerald Schofield had 20.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Grant Williams, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Kyle Alexander, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Jordan Bone, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Jordan Bowden, 10 points, 5 rebounds. For Mississippi State, Eric Holman, 20.6 rebounds. Quinjerry Weatherspoon, 17 points, 2 assists. Reggie Perry, 15 points, 12 rebounds, a double-double. I hate that. Lamar Peters, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. There was a couple of things that stuck out for Tennessee tonight. And by the way, before I forget, congratulations to Grant Williams for being named the SEC Player of the Year. It's my honor to congratulate you on that. But anyway, a couple things that stuck out. Tennessee won 10 of 15 at the free throw line for 66.7%. Very impressive. And they also went 34 of 66 from the field. That's 51.5% if you're keeping score at home. So, my congratulations to all the winners tonight. And now we have the up-to-date brackets. In the ACC, tomorrow night at 8:30 on ESPN, it is going to be Florida State versus Duke for the ACC crown. The Big East tournament. The Big East final is going to be Villanova versus Seton Hall. And that's a 6 o'clock game tomorrow night on Fox. In the Big Ten, we have the Big Ten semifinals tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock is going to be Michigan State versus Wisconsin. And in a later game at 3:30 on CBS, it's going to be Minnesota versus Michigan. Both games are going to be on the CBS network, so please keep that in mind. And as far as the Big 12 tournament goes, the Big 12 final can be seen tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock on ESPN. I think it's either on ESPN2. Iowa State versus Kansas. Nobody saw this coming at all. Not even all the big gurus. And in the SEC, in the semifinals, which will be seen tomorrow, I think on the SEC network or on ESPN. I'm not sure which one. Florida plays Auburn in the early game, and then we got Kentucky, Tennessee in the later game. So those are your conference semifinals and finals matchups for the week. And before I go, it's time to hand out some awards. I'm going to start it right out with the SEC. In for the Kentucky-Alabama contest. Tyler Hero, 20.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. PJ Washington, you had a double-double. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 block shots. Congratulations to the both of you gentlemen. You gentlemen, once again, are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Now for the Tennessee-Mississippi State contest. Emerald Schofield, 20.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Grant Williams, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Congratulations to both of you gentlemen. You are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Grant Williams, I'm going to give you a triple check for being named SEC Player of the Year. Kyle Alexander, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 block, 3 steals. Jordan Bone, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Jordan Bowden, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Congratulations to the 3 of you gentlemen. You gentlemen, once again, are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. So those are the SEC games and my Hardwood Awards there. Now, I'm going to go in reverse order. Let's go in reverse order here for the Big Ten. All right. For the Minnesota-Purdue contest, I got 4 awards to hand out. Jordan Murphy, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Amir Coffey, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And Daniel Otero, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Jordan Murphy, you get the triple check. And to the rest of you guys, Emerald Coffey, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Daniel Otero, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Congratulations to you 2 gentlemen. You gentlemen are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. For the Michigan-Iowa contest, this is a tough call. I got 3 awards to hand out. I'm going to be handing out some awards, but I'm probably going to be handing out 2 triple checks. Ingus Brazdeikis, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. John Teske, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Jordan Poole, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. Xavier Simpson, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals. And Isaiah Livers, 13 points, 5 rebounds. Ingus Brazdeikis, you know what, take that back. John Teske, a double-double for him, he gets a triple check. Xavier Simpson, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals. You get the triple check as well. And for Ingus Brazdeikis, Jordan Poole, and Isaiah Livers, you gentlemen, all of you gentlemen are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Now, the triple check means the hardest workers, the hardest ones, the ones who really, really contributed tonight. Like John Teske, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Xavier Simpson, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 and 2 steals. Those are the guys that get the triple checks. That's how it works. Let's see here. Back up here. All right. I just had to do some double checking here. I get it? Double checking. But anyway, let's get serious here. Now on to the Big 12. Let's see. For the Iowa State-Kansas State contest, I'm going to be handing out 1 triple check. Mario Shayak, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Nick Weiler-Babb, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. Michael Jacobson, 8 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists. Mario Shayak gets the triple check for the 21-point performance. And Nick Weiler-Babb and Michael Jacobson, you 2 gentlemen are all recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. And now, For the Kansas-West Virginia contest, this is a fairly easy call. Dedrick Lawson, you get the triple check. Quentin Grimes, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Devon Dotson, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Marcus Garrett, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Congratulations to you three gentlemen. You're all recipients of another Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Now that's the Big 12. Now, on to the Big East. And this one is going to be a very difficult call for me. And you'll see why here in a minute. Now, for the Villanova Xavier contest, I'm going to be handing out 1 triple check and 3 awards. Phil Booth, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, you get the triple check. That means you were the hardest worker of the night. Was the hardest player of the night. Eric Pascal, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Jermaine Samuel, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Saddiq Bey, 10.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Congratulations to you three gentlemen. You are all recipients once again of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. All right. Now for the Seton Hall Marquette contest. This is a very hard one because as you see, Sekar Ammon and Sandro Mazgavishki, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but both ejected because they got 2 technical fouls. Marquette's Theo John got ejected for pushing a defenseless player. This is a hard one for me. So for the Seton Hall contest, I'm only going to hand out 1 triple check and 2 hardwood awards. The triple check goes to Miles Powell, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. He gets the triple check. Quincy McKnight, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Michael Nessie, 14 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist. Congratulations to you, both you gentlemen. You both are recipients of a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. All right. And for the ACC, this is the hardest one of the night. The ACC, this was a big game here. Both games are big tonight, and you'll see why. For the Florida State-Virginia contest, I got 1 triple check and 2 awards to hand out. David Nichols, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. You get the triple check. Trent Forrest, actually, you know what, Phil Coffer, 11 points, 2 rebounds. You just got yourself another Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Let's see. Trent Forrest, 10.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Congratulations to you. You just got yourself another Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Mfiondu Kanagle, 10.6 rebounds, 2 blocks. You know what? I'm going to give him a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award for all the hard work he put in tonight. And now, last but not least, for the Duke North Carolina contest, I have 1 triple check and 2 awards to hand out. Zion Williamson, a double-double, 31 points, 11 rebounds in his first game back. Zion, you just got yourself the triple check. R.J. Barrett, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. You just got yourself another Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. Trey Jones, 11 points, 4 blocks, 4 assists, 2 steals. Congratulations to you, sir. You just got yourself a Scott Manning Basketball Hardwood Award. And now, those are all the hardwood awards being handed out for tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts on this night. This was one of the most crazy NCAA tournaments I have seen in years. Duke, North Carolina meeting for the 3rd time. Seton Hall and Marquette having a rubber match, which almost turned it into MMA or WWE. Technical fouls, near fireworks. It's a miracle some of New York's finest didn't have to come onto the floor with the billy clubs. But I shouldn't sound like that, I'm sorry. We saw 2 number 1 seeds go down today. Actually, we saw 3 number 1 seeds go down today. Yeah, that's right, 3 number 1 seeds. Virginia went down. LSU went down today. And we saw Kansas State go down. 3 number 1 seeds are gone. My Big 12 championship matchup is out the window. I had Texas Tech playing Kansas State for the Big 12 title. They're gone. I had Virginia winning the ACC. Florida State in it. Florida State into that. Florida State and Duke are going to meet again in the rematch from earlier in the year. But what can you say about Villanova? They have a chance to win their third straight Big East title. And they have a chance tomorrow. They actually have a chance tonight, since it is almost 10 till 2 in the eastern part of the United States. But what about the Big Ten? Michigan State's intact, but they got a battle against Wisconsin. The Minnesota Golden Gophers, they're still alive with a shot at the Big Ten championship. If they, with the upset victory over Purdue, I think Minnesota's in now. If they knock off Michigan, look out. It's going to turn everything upside down. I mean, Howie Schwab and Joe Lunardi, Howie Schwab of Fox Sports and Joe Lunardi of ESPN are probably going to be working around the clock until Selection Sunday. And then after that, they're probably going to be hibernating until and as soon as college basketball is over, they're going to go hibernate until the start of next season. But a lot of you have been asking me, what's going to happen when college basketball ends? It's going to be a general sports talk show. What I'm going to do when college basketball ends is going to be a general sports talk show where it's going to be Major League Baseball, hockey, the latest NFL news, and the latest news around the NBA. I have not forgotten about it, but I've just been so busy with March Madness and getting ready for the madness. This has been too important to me. But I want to thank you guys for all of the time that you've tuned in. Sometimes when I'm about half out of it, there's times I'm going on nothing but Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi. It's been a great ride. I still got another show tomorrow, later in the night or later into the morning, here in the United States. But I'm going to tell you right now, when we get into the NCAA tournament, it's anything goes. But I'm not going to do all the numbers. Not going to do number crunching. I'll probably do highlights and give you my take on some of these games that went down today, on that day. But folks, it's been a great ride. We still got about another couple more weeks of this, and if my body can last, it's going to be something to think about. And that's all I'm going to say tonight. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. All you have to do is type my name, scroll down, look for my pretty face, click subscribe, and you'll see all the sports videos I have done so far. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. You guys have been a great group. Thank you so much for being with me, and I thank you, and good night. Good night, everybody, and thank you.